Make it higher now. Read Bismillah. وعن أبي حوالة
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم
Right, see. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Remember, we're still doing the virtue of Yemen, Sham. These are the blessed places in Islam. وعن ابن حوالة narrating authority of ابن حوالة قال, he said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, سيسير الأمر أن تكونوا جنودا مجندة. What does جنودا مجندة mean? Tell me. Who knows? Anybody can tell me. Even the online people can tell me. What does جنودا مجندة means? If you can work it out. Lukman. جنودا مجندة. What? Loud? No. Junud means group, and mujannadatan means like different scattered groups. You will be different scattered groups. سيصير الأمر أن تكونوا جنودا مجندة. Right? So you'll be different groups. So in the end of times, it will happen that you will be groups, different groups. You'll be into groupings. Carry on. Right. So Jundum Bishami, one group in Syria. I told you before, when we say Syria, we don't mean to modern day Syria, contemporary Syria, we mean to the historical Syria, the whole of Sham. Or Jundum bil Yamani, and one group in Yemen. Or Jundum bil Iraqi, and one group in Iraq. So this will be the best of the Muslims, the khiyar of the Muslims, right? فقال ابن حوالة. So he said, Ibn Hawala, look at the Sahaba Ikram, how smart they were, how clever they were, how inquiring they were. وقال ابن حوالة, ابن حوالة said, إرني يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن أدركت ذلك. Ya Rasulullah, if I have to live in this time where the Muslims will all go to one of these three places, right? You choose for me. إرني يا رسول الله إن أدركت ذلك. يعني أدركت ذلك الزمان, right? So he said, وقال عليك بالشام, you hold firm on to Syria. That's the place you must hold firm on to, right? That's the place you go to. So I told you, so much happening in this lands today, so much happening. That's why so many Muslims are coming there, right? Yeah. فإنها خيارة الله. It is one of the most chosen of Allah Ta'ala from his lands. That's not the translation. But one of the most blessed. باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا, right? So this land is such that يجتبي إليها خيرته من عباده. It will attract to it the best from his servants. And that is why you see, if you look at Sham, historical Sham, Baitul Maqdis, hundreds or not hundreds, maybe thousands of Anbiya alayhimus salatu wa tasneem buried around there. Remember the famous hadith where Musa alayhi salam said that he also want to be buried. Remember the hadith? He want to be buried a stone's throw away from the Maqdis on a red mount of soil, etc. Right? يجتبي إليه خيرته من عبادك, right? Yeah. So literally, Aba means to refuse, right? But in this context, فَأَمَّا إِنْ أَبَيْتُمْ, if you are, in this context, I think I'll say, rather أَبَيْتُم means if you're unable, you can't make it to Sham for some reason or other, right? فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِيَمَنِكُمْ, then go to Yemen, right? Yeah. وَاسْقُوا مِنْ غُدْرِكُمْ. You came across this word. Remember the famous hadith with Allah about غَدِيرِ خُمْ. Remember, the Shia, that's the most contentious hadith between the Sunnis and the Shias. The Shias claim that غَدِيرِ خُمْ. That is where Ali radiallahu anhu was appointed as the official successor to Rasulullah. So غَدِيرِ, Jama is غُدَر. وَاسْقُوا مِنْ غُدَرِكُمْ. And then those love there, benefit from the resources there, benefit from the water there. وَاسْقُوا مِنْ غُدَرِكُمْ. Right, carry on. Because very in Allah Azza wa Jal tawakkala li bisham. He's given guarantee to me, to Syria wa ahlihi and his people. Right, Rawa Ahmad wa Abu Dawud, Imam Ahmad and Abu Dawud narrates this here. Okay, the first part there, if you look, سيسير الأمر أن تكونوا جنودا مجندة. سيسير الأمر. The matter will come to this that you will be. Means that the matter of Islam, the matter of the war, this will what will happen in the latter times, close to Qiyamah, etc. You will become like three camps. One camp will go to Syria, one will go to Iran, one will go to Yemen. So that's why Ibn Hawala asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, which camp should I go to? Which should I choose? Yajtabi al-ijtiba'u is to choose. So it means Allah Ta'ala will choose his good servants. Allah Ta'ala will choose his pious servants that they must go to where? That they must go to Syria. They must go to Sham. So the best people will gravitate and they will go to Sham at the time of strife, at the time when fitna, fasad, etc., spreads through the lands, right? So that's why in Abaitum I told you,
Yes.
if you can't go, if you can't make it, then rather go to Yemen. Then rather go to Yemen. That is the next best option, right? This word here, وَاسْقُوا مِنْ غُدَرِكُمْ. Go to Sham, go to Syria, and you benefit from the resources there. From those people who've been to Syria, from those people who've been to Sham. It's a beautiful place. It's an absolutely beautiful place. The countryside, etc., etc. So tawakkal, takaffal, right? Tawakkal, takaffal. So Allah Ta'ala has taken responsibility. تكفل من سوء فتكفلها زكريا كلما دخل عليها زكريا المحراب وجد عندها رزقا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken responsibility for the people of Sham. So at the time of strife, at the time of Al-Fishar, etc., the first best place to go to is where? It's to Sham. And if you can't make it to Sham, then you go to Yemen. And then if you can't make it to Yemen, then you go to Iraq, right? And then I told you that other word, Ghudar, is Jama of Ghadir. Like I told you, Ghadir Khum, which means house, etc. I read the next riwayat.
يا أمير المؤمنين قال لا إني سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول الأشياء يتهمون.
We stop there. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وأن شريح بن عبيد, narrating authority of شريح بن عبيد, قال ذكر أهل الشام عند علي. Once the people of Sham, the people of Syria was mentioned in the Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, in the presence of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, right? وَقِيلَ إِلْعَنْهُمْ يَا أَمِيرَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ was said to them, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, curse the people of Sham. Why? Remember, it was Hazrat Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu resided in Sham, and he had control of Sham. And there was a problem, there was a dispute between between Hazrat Ali and Hazrat Muawiyah. So he was saying, why don't you curse the people of Sham? إِلْعَنْهُمْ يَا أَمِيرَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ قال La. He said, no, 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 no. Even though Muawiyah, the one who I have a problem with, resides in Sham, but I can't curse him. Why? Inni sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, carry on. Al-Abdal, there's a group, Abdal, just for the moment, we're going to explain to you exactly now what Abdal is, right? But there's a certain group of people, special, chosen. Remember we told you about, you got the Rijal Takwini, like how Allah Ta'ala have these angels to execute certain tasks on his behalf. You have the angels that are in charge of the rain. You have the angels that are in charge of the crops, etc., etc. Like that, Allah Ta'ala also have from the human being, from the humankind, certain people that are in charge of certain tasks, right? So he says, Al-Abdalu yakunu bishami. The Abdal, they will be in Sham, right? Carry on. So because the special class, the special category of servants of Allah Ta'ala that live in Sham, right? I cannot curse them, right? They are about 40 men, right? Yeah. كلما مات رجل أبدل الله مكانه رجلا. Every time one of them passes away or passes on, Allah Ta'ala substitutes him with another one. So this means the number is there. The moment one disappears or leaves the dunya, he is replaced with another person. And that is why they are called Abdal. Abdal means badal, to change, right? Right. Yusqa bihimul ghaythu. Rain is sent because of them. Like I told you, that's what that means. Like how the angels execute certain tasks on behalf of Allah Ta'ala. These people, they also execute certain tasks on behalf of Allah. Yusqa bihimul ghayth, right? Carry on. وَيُنْتَصَرُ بِهِمْ, and assistance is sought through them. عَلَى الْأَعْدَاءِ, upon the enemies, right? وَيُصْرَفُ عَنْ أَهْلِ الشَّامِ بِهِمُ الْعَذَابِ, and it is repelled, it is repealed, it is turned away from the people of Sham, bihim, through them, the azab. In other words, they are a source of blessings, they are a source of barakah for this land, through which the azab is removed from this land, right? Okay, so I was telling you, Abdal is jama of badal. Al-Abdalu yakunu bishami. Abdal, the mufrad is badal. Like how you get abrar, abrarun and barrun, same scale. And I tell you the reason is because the one replaces the other one. Yeah, so the Abdal are pious people that are in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they execute certain tasks on behalf of Allah ta'ala, like how the angels, they execute certain tasks on behalf of Allah ta'ala, right? So, anhum, this person said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, curse the people of Sham because they don't want to give ba'at. They don't want to come into the obedience of the Amir al-Mu'mineen, right? Anhum. Remember, we've done this in detail. We've done it in Mishkaat, Shareef. We've done it in Aqidat al-Tahawi in detail. That as a Muawiyah didn't want to give, he was a powerful general in Sham, and he didn't want to give birth to Hazrat Ali. He said, I will only give birth to you until once you exact the price of the blood of my cousin or my bondsman, Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And I remember we told you that we said that Hazrat Ali was on a haqq. This is the position of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. There are many qara'in and many signs that says Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu was on a haqq, and as Muawiyah was wrong in this particular manner. So Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala, for a long period of time, he was the governor. He was like a breakaway governor, sultanate from the people from the mainstream Muslims. né? I told you he was saying the first take Isas from the Qatilin of Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, or hand over the killers of Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, because they were within the ranks of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and Hazrat Ali thought it was not prudent at that point in time to fragment the Muslims. Hazrat Ali said, first you give bay'ah to us and make our government strong. Once you give bay'ah to us and you make the Muslim world strong, then we will have the power to hand over these people, right? So it was on this occasion when some maybe companions or close people of Ali radiallahu ta'ala told him that, look here, these people of Sham, they don't want to give bay'ah to you. They don't want to come under the control of the Muslims. Why don't you rather curse them? Right? That Allah Ta'ala destroy them. So that is when Ali radiallahu ta'ala said, no, I cannot do this. And then he praised Sham and he gave some type of virtues for Sham, right? Now, this whole concept of the Abdal, I told you, there's quite a bit of detail that's mentioned in the hadith that is in Mishkaat Shareef, and certain other detail I mentioned maybe in the other hadith books, right? Although if you look at it, the Salafis, they don't accept this whole concept of the Abdal because they say that these hadith are very, very weak. But remember, we have the usuli and the fundamental difference with the Salafis. We say even if a hadith is mutawassit du'af, but if it is, it doesn't relate to laws, if it relates to fazail, etc., then you can accept it, etc., right? So let's look at this thing and see what is it all about, inshallah. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In this hadith here that we have in front of us, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he indicated towards the Abdal. First, he showed which is the primary residence of the Abdal, that they reside in Syria. It doesn't mean that any Badal or any Abdal can reside in Syria. It means the main one or most of them, etc., live in Syria, right? So the main body of them, etc., the main group of them, they live there. Like I told you before, like how Allah Ta'ala has the angels, etc., that execute the task on behalf of Allah Ta'ala. Like that, Allah Ta'ala have angels in human form. It could be somebody sitting next to you here also. He could be a Badal, Abdal. So this is matters what we call of taqwiniyat. What is it called? Taqwiniyat. One is, try to familiarize yourself with these two words, these two concepts. One is tashri'ah, which means shariat, like this is halal, this is haram, this is sunnat, etc. So you get the rijal of tashri'ah. And taqween means like when the rain must fall, when the rain mustn't fall, this person must pass away, this person must get sick, etc., etc. So these are men that deal with umur taqweeni. You understood that? So generally, these people who Allah Ta'ala has pointed with regards to these things, they are hidden from the gaze. Like I told you, maybe Luqman is sitting next to you here, he could be one of the Abdal, those people that Allah Ta'ala has chosen him. or maybe Yusuf is sitting here, he could be one of them, you don't know, right? That's why they are called Rijalul Ghaib. What are they called? Rijalul Ghaib. You must have heard, we discussed in detail also in Mishkaat Shareef and in our Aqidah book, we done a bit about Hazrat Khidr, Qadir, whatever you want to call him. So Hazrat Khidr alayhi salam is one of the main people in this particular thing, right? So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa also indicated here, you got in this hadith, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala to speaking about them, indicating towards him. But Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa also spoke about them and he indicated, made reference to them in different hadith. So what I'm going to give you here now, all the information are taken from different hadith books, right? So I was telling you they are about 40. When one passes away, immediately another one is chosen to take his place. I told you they had like the rain is sent to them through their du'as, etc. Enemies destroyed because of them. Allah Ta'ala's assistance is sent because of them. Because of them, big trials, tribulations, etc. is kept away from Sham. So this riwayat that we got here that I mentioned to you, this riwayat is actually from Musnad Ahmad. Who's this riwayat from? Musnad Ahmad. Mullah Ali Qari, the famous Sha'ari of Mishkaat Shareef, he also mentions a hadith in his commentary for Ibn Asakir, where he gave the full details of the Abdallah, right? He gave the riwayat from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu. This riwayat from Abdullah Ibn Asakir narrates a riwayat from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, which is a marfu riwayat. In the riwayat says that from the creation of mankind, Allah Ta'ala created 300 people. And these 300 people, the hearts are like the hearts of Adam alayhi salam. And from amongst these 300, Allah Ta'ala chose another extra 40. And from amongst these 40, they have more pure hearts, and their hearts are like the hearts of Musa alayhi salam. And from among the 40, so you can see there are different categories within the Abdal, right? There are 7 people that their hearts are, because you're going higher up, greater sifat. There are 7 people whose hearts are like the hearts of who? Of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Right, so 7 that are like Ibrahim alayhi salam. And then from them, there's another 5 whose hearts are like the hearts of Jibreel alayhi salam. And then from them, from the same group, there's another 3 that their hearts are like the hearts of Mishkaat alayhi salam. And then from amongst them, there's one person, his heart is like the heart of Israfil alayhi salam. Yeah, let's see. Right, one person's heart is like the heart of Israfil alayhi salam. So he would be like, so to say, the Amir. So when one from the top echelon passes away, he's replaced from somebody from the stage below him. You understand what I'm saying? So like how in every business or any, you don't take a junior to replace a senior. You take a person in the next position like that. So like that, you work your way up the ladder of the Abdals. You understood that? Like so, when one passed away from the first group, then you take from the three. When one passed away from the three, then you take from the five. When one passed away from the five, you take from the seven, and so forth and so forth. Are you with me? And then when somebody passed away from the seventh group, Allah Ta'ala takes from the what? Allah Ta'ala takes from the 40, etc., etc. Such as called Abdal, they are changing all the time. And when from the right, then when from the 40 some passes away, then Allah Ta'ala takes from the 300. Remember we spoke about the 300, right? And then when from the 300 somebody passes away, Allah Ta'ala takes away from replaces from the 300 somebody from his general awliya, right? All his pious servants. There's another hadith also of Hazrat Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. That's why we say that, remember when there are many hadith, and even though maybe they're not so strong, but they are copious, there are many, then it increases it in strength. What it does, it increases it in strength. So there are so many hadith, but maybe they're not on the highest category of hadith. They might not be on the highest category, but there are so many that it is difficult to deny the existence of this particular category of servants of Allah Ta'ala. It's mentioned also from the hadith, we understand that all of these Abdal, once a year, they gather in Hijaz, where they are allocated their places, what work they will do. So like I told you, they are like normal human beings. Somebody sitting right next to you could even be from amongst the Abdal, but you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. Right. Okay, read the next hadith, inshallah.
رجل من الصحابة رضي الله عنهم أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال تفتح الشام فإذا خيرتم المنازل فيها فعليكم بمدينة يقال لها دمشق فإنها معقل المسلمين من الملاحم فوسطاتها منها أرض يقال لها
الهوطة رواه أحمد. Okay, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والرجل من الصحابة narrated on the authority of one person from the Sahaba Ikram أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that ستفتح الشام. So this is the prediction of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that manifested himself. So even before Sham was conquered, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam made this prediction, right? That Syria, Sham, historical Sham will be conquered. فإذا خيرتم المنازل, if you are given a choice to, obviously we know Makkah and Medina, etc., are the most virtuous. But after that, if you are given a choice to take up residence in any other place, right, right in the Sham, right, that you get a choice to live in Sham, right, here, فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِالْبَدِينَةِ, then you hold firm to a town, يُقَالُ لَهُ دِمِشْقٌ, right? So you can understand that even in the time of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Damascus was called the Mishkaat. You call it فإنها معقل المسلمين من الملاحم. You can say it is the sanctuary of the believers at the time when there will be intense wars. وفسطاط منها, right, and also so it will be فسطاط منها وفسطاط, sorry, that is فإنها معقل المسلمين ملاحم وفسطاطها. It will be a great significant city, right? منها أرض And in it is also a land you call al-Huta too. It's called Huta. So this here, Fustatuha, is atf upon Ma'akilul Muslimin. You understood it? You got it? فإنها معقل المسلمين من ملاحم وفسطاطها. You understood it? Right. So just Dimishk, with a kasra on the dal, Dimishkun, and also a kasra on the meme, and a sakin on the sheen. Right, that's how you pronounce it, right? But in that time, the time of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this was one of the major centers in the world. It was one of the major centers. So this ma'qilun فَإِنَّهَا مَعْقِلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ means it will be like a strong fortified center for the believers. So this will probably still come. Remember the hadith speak about many battles that will take place closer to Qiyamah, etc., etc. So it will be one of the strong places. It's like a place of sanctuary. And close to it will be a place called Huta. Some ulama say Huta refer to the areas immediately around Damascus, right? So it's just around. So what some ulama say that around Damascus, the gardens, the rivers, the trees, etc., that refers to Huta. Allama Zamakhshari says that Chinanu Dunya Arba'un, that the garden cities of the world are four, right? Huta, one is Huta, ومشعر النهر العبلي وشعب Kadnana or Samarkand. These are the four gardens of the world. One is Huta, one is Nahr, one is Nahr-il, the third one is Shu'ba Kadnan, and the third one is Samarkand. Samarkand in Transoxania. Ne? So, Allama Ibn Jawzi, a great muhaddith, he says, I had the good fortune of visiting all four places. I'm not sure where the two middle places are. I'm not sure, right? But we know the other two, right? And he says, I had the good fortune of, and as per the hadith, like the hadith says, that Huta is the most beautiful. That's why I told you, even recently, our ulama that, after Bashar al-Assad has been dislodged, etc., they went to Syria. You listen to their report back, they'll tell you that absolutely beautiful, the countryside, etc., rivers, mountains, forests, streams, etc., absolutely beautiful. Right? So, Allama Ibn Jawzi say, I had the good fortune of visiting all four places, and definitely, as per the hadith, I found Huta to be the best place. Okay, let's read just one more hadith before we switch over to the tafsir, inshallah. Yeah, this is interesting. وعن أبي هريرة نريتنا أثارت أبو هريرة يشهد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم الخلافة بالمدينة والملك بالشام. The Khilafat will be in Medina and kingdom will be in Sham. I explained this to you. Tell me what he's saying here. You can tell me what he's saying here. Maybe I never explained this directly to you, but I explained you indirectly. Maybe the online people, if anybody knows, they can explain this. Al-Khilafatu bil-Madinati wal-Mulku bil-Sham. In order to be able to explain this, you first have to know what's the difference between Khilafat and what is Mulk. Give it a shot, see. I give you 1-2 minutes, think about it, tell me if you can work it out, what he's saying here. Loud. Khilaf were those were directly chosen by Rasulullah, right? You are not exactly what you're saying is right, but you are on the right track. What you say, Yusuf, what it means. Loud. So if you say Khilaf is referred to the Khilaf of Ali, what does it mean then? So what you say, I don't understand what you're saying. See, I'll give you a clue. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Khilafat refers to what? Rule ala minhaj nubuwah, where the leadership are like on the method of prophethood. Al-Khilafatu ala minhaj nubuwah, right? So what Nabi says, so now work it out, And mulk refers to kingdom. So now work it out. Now there I gave you a big clue now. Who's the one who removed the capital city from Medina to Kufa? Who done that? As Ali radiallahu anhu. Now I gave you the clue now. Now you can work it out. It's easy to work it out now. Can work it out now? Okay, you're saying it right, but you're not putting in the right words. What you say, what it means? So this is what it means. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As long as the Muslim world will be governed from Madinatul Munawwara, then those people that remains in Madinatul Munawwara and they govern the Muslim world, they will be ala minhajin nubuwah. But the moment the seat of the capital is moved away from Medina, it is moved to Sham, then there will be a change. It won't be ala minhajin nubuwah anymore. You understand what I'm saying? That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that initially the Muslim world, let's see what I said. Yeah, this is also right, yeah. The era of the true Khilafat based on consultation and the prophetic model was in Medina during the time of the rightly guided Khalif. Later, when the capital moved to Sham, Damascus, under the Umayyads, the style of the the style of rule became more like kingship, hereditary monarchy. MashaAllah, very good answer there. Right. So that's right. So what he's saying, Nabi Sallallahu is saying, as long as the Muslim world will be ruled from Medina, it will be ala minhaj nubuwah. It will be upon the prophetic model. But the moment they move to Kufa, it will now shift away from the prophetic model and will refer to more like a kingdom type of a thing, like where hereditary, that your son inherits, and the ruler is not chosen on merit, but there's no meritocracy, but rather there is kakistocracy. People will be chosen because of association, etc., etc. So al-mulk bi-Sham. Remember, there was a hadith in which Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that first there will be khilafat, and after khilafat there will be mulukiyat. And also it comes in the riwayat that when Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu wanted to move the khilafat from Medina to Kufa, the other Sahaba Ikram begged him, said, don't do it. Don't move the khilafat. Don't move the khilafat. So what we can say here is that Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was also from Khilafat ala minhaj nubuwah. But after he moved it, then When Hazrat Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala came, then he appointed his son, etc., etc. So now it was what? Now it was Mulukiyat, right? G. What Hazrat Muawiyah the Umayyad? Some ulama have given a different explanation. See, Nabi Sallallahu was born in Makkah, right? And then he lived in Medina. And then his first three khulafa was in Medina. And then the fourth Khalifa went to where? He went to Kufa. So they don't take muluk in a negative sense. They take muluk in a positive sense because they say that once the capital or the seat of the capital of the Muslims moved to Sham, it was more stronger. It was now like a powerful, you understand what I'm saying? So they don't take it in a negative sense. So you can say there was istihkam. You can say the markers, because from Sham, many lands were conquered, right? The whole rest of Iran, Iraq, Africa, North Africa, etc., etc. So you can say there was tahaffuz, there was protection of what? Of nubuwwat from where? From Sham. There was masbuti, there was istihkam. So one is you take it in a negative sense and one is you take it in a positive sense. Okay, time is up. We'll have to switch over to the tafsir there.